Hello and welcome. Welcome to welcome to Mail Something Pretty. I am Christine Justy. Didn't want to mix those two up. And welcome. This is our Tuesday live. It is, let's see, March 4th. And oh, Jenny's already there. My goodness, you were waiting for me. That's crazy. Hi. Thanks for being in there. Um, awesome. I have these like new buttons and I'm tempted to push them, but I think I'll screw things up, so I'm gonna have to do a practice live. Hey Kim, because sometimes I think it'd be kind of cool to see different scenes happening. Hey Cindy, all right, we are good to go. You guys are ready to make your shake of cards. So Kim already knows what we're gonna do because she was my helper on Saturday for the event, and this is one of the cards that we did. But I was surprised at how many people there said they'd never made a shaker card before because really there weren't any beginners at the event, some newer people, but no beginners. And so it surprised me that like people who've been in my club and stuff, I was surprised. So anyways, I thought this would be a good card to do. Hey Nancy. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this, hold on, little shaker card. And it's not a complicated one, so you kind of start easy and then you can build up with all the stuff. But sometimes I think sugar cards are good to be on the simpler side because the whole fact is that you have that interaction and to do. So let me, there we go. Oh, okay. I'm a little crooked, but that's okay. So I'm going to use, I should have had this ready, sorry. Um, and you can do what we're going to do with like lots of different cutouts, but we're just going to use a butterfly. One, because it just begs itself to be made into a shaker. But two, look at, so I get it there. I copied it. So there you go. So I just did it different colors. So it's pretty much the same, almost the same card. Um, and so I just wanted to show you how to do it. Sometimes when there's samples in the catalogs and they don't really give us directions. So I like to copy from the catalog to show you. So this is the suite that I'm using. I'm going to use these little, what do they call them? Itty bitty bokeh mix, the little sequins. I'm going to use a little bit of the stamp set and I'm going to use just a couple of the dies. I'm not using the embossing folder today, but it is a cool one. And so you can kind of see how it's a hybrid embossing folder. Oh, here you go. So the cutout aligns with the big butterfly in the middle. So you can cut it out with the texture or you can just use it as an embossing folder. And we made actually similar cards and I'll show you, I'll do more maybe from future lives. We made some fun cards with this suite. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so put that there. So the first thing, I'm just gonna copy the same colors and everything. Hey, Mary Lou. So this will be familiar to you as well. All right, so we'll start here. Fresh Freesia is our card base. So when I was just, copying, designing, I originally was going to actually put ribbon, and that's why I have it opening up this way. A lot of times when it's a landscape position, I like it to open up like this way. But originally I was going to put ribbon on it, and then it was too busy, so I didn't. So you can have your card open this way, and you would just cut your 8.5 by 11 in the middle at the 5.5. Or how about I do one the other way, and then that way it's done the same way, but that way you can kind of see the both. So I'm going to cut my paper at in the half at the 4.25, and I'm going to score it in half at 5.5. So that way, one card will open this way and one card will open this way. And the reason why I generally like this shape to open this way is after I score it, it sits kind of a little bit better, like on a table or mantle or whatever. Sometimes these fonts will flop, but this one actually has some weight to it, so it doesn't. So um, both are good. And then I'm going to cut my bubble bath just one layer down. So 5.25, 5.4. So that's a pretty standard measurement. And I think we're done with the cutter. All right. So first thing here, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our butterfly. So here's the stamp set, and here are the dies. So I'm gonna use that big outline one. You could cut it straight on so it's, flat and level, but I kind of liked it how it was on an angle. So that's what I'm going to do, but it's no wrong way. They're both good. All right, so I'm going to use my machine and I'm going to use I have new plates. Look at, they're barely used. Let me put this one on the bottom. We use some new plates on Saturday. All right. So I'm going to put my die on an angle like that. Might move it over a little bit more. And I think that's all I needed that for, but we'll find out. Okay, so this pops out. So I have this nice butterfly. So I'm not using this for anything right now, but you can make a tag, you can put it on a card, you make a garland, you can make a little cake stand, like for a little stick on it. So you can do lots of things, and it's a nice size. So we'll save that for something else. But what I want is this because we'll put the window sheet and then we'll put the little shakers underneath it. But before we do that, this is kind of the instructions I gave for Saturday. I said, because I wasn't sure again how many people knew shaker cards and how many didn't. So I said, put your the cutout piece on top of your base and trace it with a pencil lightly. So that's what I'm going to do for you. And the reason why is because we're going to stamp, oops, we're going to stamp the big butterfly. I'm not even going to do the antenna. I don't know if this eraser works. I have a little pencil mark on there. I'm looking for a better eraser. I'll come across it. I think there's one up here. Okay, so the reason why I traced it is because we need to, well, I'd like to get this butterfly in there, stamped in there, kind of as even as possible because we're going to stamp it. And then when we put this on here, I didn't want the butterfly to be off because then that would look funny. So that's why I said to trace it with pencil. And this one is traced with a pencil, but you can't even see the lines. So I'm not even going to erase them. You don't even see them. So next what we're going to do is stamp a big butterfly, big stamp. So it's on, what block is this? I always forget the letters. E. So it's on an E block. It's it's the size of my hand. It's a big butterfly. Hey Debbie, thanks for joining in. So I'm using Gorgeous Grape. And since it's so big, I'm actually gonna stamp it this way, or ink it rather. Kind of turn nouns, ink, stamp into verbs. All right. I'm gonna probably re-ink that because it had been used quite a lot, but that should be good. So now I'm just gonna put this a little closer to me so I can see it, but I have those pencil lines as a guide. Let me just, okay, I just had to see what I was doing. I could have guessed, but because we already stamped that, once I put that straight, I want you to be able to see the butterfly behind. So that's why we did the tracing. Okay, not the best stamp job I've done, but guess what? I really do need to re-ink. We have 2 pieces of paper, so I will save that for something else. Let me just score this. I have to probably stand up to stamp. Oh. I could try to align it because it is photopolymer, but it's all right. I'll show you this step again. I'm going to trace it. Now, if I was making a shaker card and I put like designer series paper underneath, or I wasn't stamping anything or anything that didn't have to be quite so exact, I wouldn't, I would skip that step, but we need that there. Okay, so let's get this ink again. Oh, good. Mary Lou was at the event, which I was so happy. And she says, I thought the tip of tracing the butterfly onto the base card was great. That's good to hear. I'm glad. I definitely need to re-ink. I'm not 100% unpacked yet. So, okay, I'm going to put this closer to me. So I'm actually just kind of looking at the bottom. There we go. I stood up. I'm going to give it a good press. That's better. The sequins will cover up. I have a little bit, and if I had a pen up here, which I don't, I would fix it, but it's good. It's good enough. Okay. So now we have our pieces here. The next thing we do need the cutter. And then we have to cut, I have to cut window sheets because there's a window sheet on top which keeps the sequins inside so you can see them. So I have my package of window sheets. I'm just going to use, I'll just use that piece and I'm going to cut it. So you could do the whole thing, but you don't really quite need to do the whole thing. So I'm just going to go down by 1/4 inch from that piece. So that would be 5. I I did that funny, but I actually worked out this morning. I haven't done weights in like years, and my wrist is a little sore. So right here, I can't use the trimmer. Okay, so putting these away because they're see-through, I will lose them. So I'm putting them away where they belong. Sometimes I even put like a little piece of washi tape or something on it so that I could find it again. All right. So now we need to attach the window sheet to the back side of our cutout sheet. So I'm just going to use glue. Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to stick on there. You just want to make sure that that whole opening is covered. I probably could have even made it a little bit narrower. But... All right. So I'm actually going to let that dry for a second. And let's just put our inside together. See that piece I already have cut. And that's just a regular layer. And I did do a strip of the bokeh paper that kind of goes with, goes with the whole suite. And the bokeh is kind of like, you kind of see it, the style of when there's like these water dots. And so all of the pieces of paper kind of have that on there. And you get, I think, 4 sheets, 4, 8. Oh, yeah, 8 sheets of each color. So which is kind of nice. So you have a lot of options. So we will just glue that down. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining in. We got a lot of people watching today. I'm very excited. Thank you. All right, so I'll just put a little glue on that. And I was just saying at the event, someone has been watching that I do put sometimes a little strip of the pattern paper on the inside. And I said, yeah, I said, I don't like my cards to be naked on the inside. And I thought that was funny, but it's true. I don't want just like a white thing. So sometimes I don't know what I want to stamp on the inside. I do that later depending on who I mail it to. So that's why a lot of times I do a little stripe or a little something of paper, but it's just a little something. All right. So now we should be good. So that's stuck enough. So here's the whole key. Oh, let me read what Mary Lou wrote. She's so nice. The spring into creative excuse me. The spring into creativity event was awesome. So many fantastic projects and wonderful to meet so many ladies into card knitting. That's like the whole point of it is just to kind of be with people who like to do what we do. All right. So the whole key, I think, to shaker cards are these foam strips. We used to use dimensionals, and it was kind of a pain in the neck because you had to put like one dimensional next to another one, and they had to be touching because you didn't want the sequence to leave or anything. So the foam strips, it's just a dimensional that's like just a skinny little strip, are perfect. So I'm going to start. I'm going to outline, and they're a little bendable, somewhat. I'm just gonna put it all around my butterfly here. Doesn't have to look pretty, no one's gonna see it. But I'm doing this outline because within this, it's almost like a pool. Within this will be the sequence. And so I don't want to do the whole thing because then it's a lot of room for those sequins and I'd have to add more. So you only really need the sequence that's behind the window sheet. All right, and then you just want to make sure that those two kind of touch. Like that, oop, but I don't need to see it underneath. Okay, so there's, again, it's not pretty, but there's no gaps, there's no holes. My seams are kind of covered. All right, so then the other thing, I'm just gonna cut some of these just to put a few so that if I only use that to put the card together, it would, the ends would kind of bend in. Let's see. Kathy says, making a shaker card with this bundle, but used one of our clay envelopes. Yes, that's another way of doing it. There's actually many different ways of doing shaker cards, which is kind of fun. All right. Let me just put a tiny bit in that corner. Okay. So you might think we put the sequence in that little pool, but we don't. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put my sequins. Let's I find them. So this is part of that whole suite, and they're fun colors. Kind of see them. Just going to take like a spoon of them. And really, you only need, this is like a half teaspoon. You really kind of only need that many or that few, depending on which way you look at it, because it's not that big of a space. All right, I'm gonna put the cover on because you know me, I'll knock them over. All right, so I just want to make sure that the sequins are within that purple butterfly. Okay, so now I'm going to take the backing off my foam strips, trying not to put fingerprints on my window sheets. And now I'm going to, because we had it aligned with that pencil mark, and then that's where we knew where to stamp because that's where the hole was. It should line up. Yep. As well as I'm kind of keeping an eye on my borders. All right, so let me give it a press. I forgot to do something. Shoot. Well, we're going to improvise. I think we'll be okay. I forgot to put, I had these tiny little accent polka dots stamped just like in a triangle, and I forgot to do that. So, oh, well, maybe it's an okay thing because actually I thought I brought up my ink. Nope, this one's gonna go polka dotless. I don't have my bubble bath ink either. Sorry. So what I would have done, I was thinking straight. There's in the set are these little polka dots. It's fun. You have these like little inner wings too for the outline, which we did on a different card. But I used the little polka dots and I just kind of put a couple, and I could maybe even downstairs go back. You would do that before you put the sequins in there. So now you can kind of shake your sequins around. And some of them will kind of like static stick to your window sheets, which is kind of fun to have them in different directions. But there you go. There's like the basics, the basis of a shaker card. So I do have little banners here. I do have my great ink. Oh, but I don't want that. I want my balmy blue ink to stamp happy birthday. I brought two up just in case. That looks okay. I can actually, I also have a little butterfly we can stamp on the inside. There we go. All right, so now all we need to do, again, I just want to kind of crease that a little bit, is stick on our happy birthday, and you can put it anywhere you want. Let's see. We put this one, actually, I still want it over here because I'm going to cover that part that I didn't stamp as dark. And I'm just going to use a foam strip. You could glue it down straight, you could use dimensionals, but a little too long. And these strips are a little, I can show you, they're a little thicker, like depth-wise, than a dimensional. Well, I can show you on the black ones. They're actually probably about double. Well, I don't know if you can see. There probably is like double thickness. So they are, so keep that in mind too. Sometimes if you're using both, just keep it level. And the last thing I'll do, especially because I don't have my polka dots, is I'm going to put on some sequins. These were from Celebration. And I think, they have similar colors. So since I don't have the polka dots, I might put a couple extra, more than I did initially. I'll put some, I think I'm gonna actually try to stamp that polka dot because I kind of like this. It's just a subtle little extra. All right, so that is a shaker card. So this is the one that opens up that way, or this one open up this way. So it doesn't matter which you do. So like if you had a different shape, I'm just trying to think what dies are out there. Even like a lot of times when I learned, I did circles or squares, so those work out great. But if you just need something that's big enough so that you can throw the sequins in there and that they can move. At the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I'm sure you can. All right, so that's what I had for you today. Let me put myself on there. Cool. So today or this is the first week of March, and so for Stampin' Up purposes, the new online exclusive products are out available today, and some of them are really cool. I think you'll like some of them. I know Jenny actually, and I'm going to show it the next time. Made a card using it. Um, she's made a couple cards actually using some of them. And so on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I'll do the math later. Anne and I will be Anne and I are supposed to be going live. Let's start that way. We're planning on going live. They are experiencing a cyclone right now, and so she hasn't gotten back to me today. So they were in the path, but then they thought it was moving. So she said, as long as she has internet and lights, we will be doing our live. So I will update everybody on that. Um, but that should be 7 o'clock on Thursday night. And so I haven't made my project yet, so I'm gonna work on that this afternoon, but I have an idea. I already ordered what I wanna do, and hopefully it comes out like it's in my head. So yeah, so that online exclusives Thursday live. I'm just trying to remember if that's it. That might be next week I won't be live. I will be hopefully in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach. And I know there's wildfires going on there right now. So that is also tentative for softball spring training. This is our last year going to softball spring training. And so I will be gone next week. And so I'll have a live the following week. All right, so I think that's all, like all the updates as far as I can tell and remember. Um, Thank you very much for coming on live, and we had some new people, so it's awesome. So you guys, there's a good one. So I hopefully you like the shakers. I always love making shakers, and I always show my son. It's kind of a joke in our house whenever I make them. I show him because I was so excited the first time. I kept showing him one over and over, so it's kind of become a little family joke. All right. So you're welcome. So have a wonderful day. Stay safe wherever you are, because I know there's a lot of like weather stuff going on. And hopefully I'll see you guys on Thursday evening. Bye bye.